Come see us on tour in Dallas, Austin, Baltimore, Hartford, Connecticut, Syracuse, New York, Atlantic City, Levittown, Cohoes, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for the link for the cheapest tickets. So there's a corrupt judge who is now stopping the audit of the federal government. There's so in an egregious and unconstitutional assault on executive authority, Judge Paul Engelmayer has unilaterally forbidden all of Trump's political appointees, including the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, from accessing the Treasury Department data. What? This ruling, concocted without legal precedent or constitutional justification, is nothing short of judicial sabotage. Worse, it was issued ex parte, meaning Trump administration lawyers weren't given notice, weren't allowed to argue, and weren't even in the room. Only Democrat attorney generals were heard, ensuring a predetermined outcome. Engelmayer's order is legally indefensible. He cites no statutory basis because none exists. He offers no constitutional rationale because the Constitution directly contradicts him. Instead, he fabricates a fiction that the duly appointed Treasury Secretary is nothing more than a ceremonial figurehead akin to a powerless monarch, while unelected bureaucrats who answer to no voters control the nation's finances. This is judicial tyranny masquerading as jurisprudence. I've heard people
drag him out like Kamala did with that single black mother whose daughter couldn't go to school.
That's right.
Drag him the hell out to lock him up, get the papers there so we can all see him humiliated immediately.
So the implications are staggering. By stripping the executive branch of access to its own financial data, this ruling effectively transfers control of the federal purse to the permanent bureaucracy. So there's people out there that are afraid that Elon Musk is going to get a peek at your Social Security data. Meanwhile, because he's not elected, although he is appointed by the president who is elected. But the people who have the access to that data currently are also unelected.
Yo, the Intel people that look at your fucking dick pics in your phone are unelected. What are they talking about?
Well, every email you make is being collected. You have no privacy. We live in a surveillance state. This is such a bullshit argument. You have no privacy. Every phone call, every text, every email you send is being collected. We know that because of Edward Snowden. And by the way, so the people who do have access to that Social Security data are also unelected bureaucrats who are now siding with the Democrats and the deep state. That's who they're siding with.
Real drastic. I hope they get real drastic with these fucking people.
So back to this. The so-called deep state, that is a direct assault on the Constitution's separation of powers, which vests executive authority in the elected president and his appointees, not in career government bureaucrats. This is lawfare at its most brazen, a raw partisan power grab dressed up in legalese. If allowed to stand, this decision sets the precedent that any left-wing judge can unilaterally strip the president of his authority and hand it to the administrative state. This is not democracy. It's not law. It's a judicial dictatorship. That's exactly what's... You don't have to like Elon Musk. You don't have to like Donald Trump. But if you like democracy, you'll be against what this judge is doing. This is the same kind of...
the money he spent on.
This is the same kind of lawfare they did to try to convict Donald Trump in 4 different bullshit legal cases so he couldn't run for president again. That's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing they did to the January 6 people, even worse. Outrageous, says Tom Cotton. Now, Tom Cotton, I disagree with on most stuff, but he's right about this. Outrageous. Obama Judge Paul Engelmayer didn't just bar Elon Musk and DOGE from Treasury systems. He barred the Secretary of the Treasury himself. What? Without citing a single law or even allowing Trump administration to appear in court. This outlaw should be reversed immediately, and Engelmayer should be forbidden by higher courts from ever hearing another case against the Trump administration. And here it is. This is from CNN. The federal judge blocks Elon Musk's DOGE access to critical Treasury payment systems.
Drag him out of office.
A federal judge citing so this is what he cited, a risk of irreparable harm.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but it's not. He didn't cite the Constitution, and he didn't cite a precedent in legal precedent. He is temporarily restricted, so you know that. The judge's order, issued early Saturday, temporarily halts access to a sensitive payment system that distributes America's tax returns, Social Security benefits, disability payments, and federal employees' salaries. U.S. District Judge Paul Engelmayer ordered the destruction of any downloaded information from the payment system by anyone given access to it since January 20th, citing the risk that the new policy presents of the disclosure of sensitive and confidential information and the heightened risk that the systems in question will be more vulnerable than before to hacking. Are you effing kidding me? So the people who have access to that right now at the Treasury Department, they're all perfectly trustworthy. That's what you're saying? And the world's richest man is somehow going to do a scam? Is he going to get my Social Security number so Elon Musk can open up a fake credit card account? Is that what he's looking to do?
Why.
That's what he's probably looking to do.
Elon wants to steal my identity.
So this is the Washington Post. Judge bars Trump from putting additional USAID workers on leave. This is what's happening right now. The USAID was invented by a president, by an executive order. That's it. So a president should be able to undo it by executive order. But a judge is now standing in the way. Federal judge blocked Trump administration from placing more than 2,000 U.S. agencies of the USAID development employees on paid leave Friday, representing a setback to the president's efforts to slash the U.S. foreign apparatus and bring it in line with his America First agenda. So this is a different judge, District Judge Carl J. Nichols, following a hastily called hearing, said he would enter a temporary restraining order in a lawsuit brought Thursday by employee groups challenging the administration's authority to shut down the agency. I know that the president has the power to do that. I know that because that whole thing was invented by a president's executive order. USAID is nothing more than a CIA front. He said that he was still weighing whether to order the government to undo the decision to place an additional 500 USAID workers on paid leave. Paid leave.
Oh, what a fascist.
What a fascist. He's paying them?
I would have recommended something way different, way less good than that.
Me too. The decision came only a day after a filing by the American Foreign Service Association and the American Federation of Government Employees, asking the court to declare unlawful what they called a series of unconstitutional illegal actions taken by President Donald Trump and his administration that have systematically dismantled USAID without authorization from Congress, because he doesn't need it. The plaintiffs in the USAID, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm almost positive, and if I'm wrong, someone tell me in the chat, does he need congressional authorization? By the way, he'd get it because the Republicans are running the Congress. And the Democrats are so stupid. They're so flat-footed and caught off balance by Donald Trump doing this. They're out there defending the CIA cutouts and corruption in the government. That's what they're left defending that. The plaintiffs in the USAID case in their filings on Thursday said that the actions against Trump have generated a global humanitarian crisis. It has not. By abruptly halting the crucial work of USAID employees, grantees, and contractors. Hey, how about you do some of that work in the United States? How about I got a town called Altadena, and they just burned down a working class neighborhood. Burned down. How about you do some of that work back here? How about you go help Lahaina? Did I say it right?
Lahaina.
No,
Lahaina. Why can't I ever remember how to say that? They have cost thousands of American jobs, and they have imperiled U.S. national security interests. Right here. One of the most ironic concerns the Democrats are expressing is the false notion that Elon Musk might be able to see your Social Security number. The fact is that Senator Warren's Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has been hoovering all of your financial data for years.
To protect me?
Protect me? I'm for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, by the way. I'm all for it. But this fake idea that somehow certain people in the government should be allowed to that data and other people in the executive branch shouldn't is a bogus argument. Because
also,
they
don't protect you. It's a fake. It's a guise. It's a disguise.
Yes.
It's not a real thing. I'm for a real one being made. The one we have is not a real one.
What
it's just
one?
there to steal your data.
Which one?
The CFPB.
I think they do good work. I've seen them
it without them taking your financial data for something sinister on purpose. It's like a Patriot Act. Oh, for Patriots.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
Act. I'm not. Yeah.
She's a scumbag.
Elizabeth Warren is a scumbag. Obama appointed judge threatens and his team with arrest if they don't restore every last dime of funding that has been paused or canceled. If the president wants to delay any payment, he will need to justify his request to the judge's personal satisfaction.
Whoa. Yeah, Trump's been ignoring it, by the way. This one, McConnell, Trump's just ignoring the judges. According to people complaining about it, I was looking it up online, ProPublica. The courts block Trump's federal funding freeze. Agencies are withholding money anyway. Good.
Good.
Oh, I hope it gets to a real fight and he uses troops on him.
The order from Rhode Island Judge John McConnell Jr., an Obama appointee, requires the president to resume all paused funding as well as restoring missed payments. He threatened arrest if his order was not obeyed. Are you effing kidding me?
Drag him out of his house, do lawfare. Get the agencies you now control, Trump, send them to his house in the middle of the night in his underwear and drag him the hell out and let him know who's boss. Scumbag. Oh my God.
Elon Musk says what happens is that those who want the government corruption and waste to continue will shop around this country for an activist judge to do their bidding. That's what they're doing.
You see all these judges, I don't know where they find them. They all look like ghouls.
Yeah.
They all look like child-eating ghouls.
Yep. They will do, it is an undemocratic and unconstitutional power grab by a tiny group of radical leftists. Here's what Trump had to say about it.
A couple of court losses, Mr. President, and J.D. Vance said judges aren't allowed to control executive power. What's your take on that?
So there's supposed to be a separation of power. And this judge, there's supposed to be, there's the legislative, that's Congress. There's the executive, that's the president. And then there's the judicial. That's the, you know what that is. That's the courts. But right now, the courts are trying to run the executive branch. But this is bullshit. Here's what he says about it.
We'll see what happens. We have a long way to go. And we're talking about fraud, waste, abuse. And when a president can't look for fraud and waste and abuse, we don't have a country anymore. So we're very disappointed with the judges that would make such a ruling. But we have a long way to go. We have to look, we have to find all of the fraud that's going on. We have tremendous fraud, tremendous waste, and tremendous abuse, and theft, by the way. And the day you're not allowed to look for theft and fraud, etc., then we don't have much of a country. So no judge should frankly be allowed to make that kind of a decision. It's a disgrace.
So when he's wrong, I criticize him, and when he's right, I tell you he's right, and that he's right.
Yeah, let's not forget what the fight's over. They don't want to show their books.
They don't want to show their books
to the president
of the United States who got elected. I'm saying I'm going to go look at the books. So the New York judge who blocked Trump and his team from the Treasury Department's computers should also order China not to look at all the data it stole from the Treasury Department just in December. You know what I'm talking about? Watch this.
Did you know that a Chinese spy got remote access to every single workstation at the Treasury a month before Trump took office? So while all you liberals were like, oh my God, Elon Musk can't possibly get access to all the information at the Treasury, fucking China got it the month before Trump took office. Biden administration sent a letter to Congress admitting that days earlier, a Chinese state-sponsored advanced persistent threat actor secured remote access to every workstation in the Department of the Treasury. Democrats thought so little of this intrusion Most of you never even heard of it. Most of the American people never heard of this. But it happened. Why all of you worry about Elon Musk having access to your personal data. The country of fucking China's got it. Kind of makes the whole block and TikTok worthless as well, right? The United States government gave a Chinese spy full access to the Department of the Treasury. But yeah, Elon's who we should worry about. You're fucking sheep.
So here's this.
I mean, without China, I didn't want these animals to have my data at all. That they pay. One more guy who's going to share the data with me? I don't care about that. I want to see what they spent money on.
So here's that Alexander Vindman, who's a complete tool of the deep state, right? So of course he's going to be on the wrong side of this issue. He says the human cost of dismantling USAID. I work for the USAID. I lost my job today. I'm really struggling to express the level of devastation I feel about how much I believe in our work, both for the people we serve overseas and for how it makes America safer and stronger. Oh, really? Well, here's what Mike Benz said, someone who actually used to work for the deep state and now is blowing the whistle on it. He says, which job was it? Was it irrigating heroin crops in Afghanistan? Was it cooking up freak monster viruses in Wuhan? Was it writing PSYOP propaganda screeds for Internews? Was it publishing dirt on U.S. politicians for the OCCRP? Was it operating regime change work from an HIV clinic in Latin America? Which job was it, Vindman?
I mean, all of it, really, probably. You like the whole thing.
You have a Pentagon that has billions of dollars that they hide. We don't ask for any accounting of. They never pass an audit in the history of audits. I've often said the only way we're really going to get to the bottom of this is somebody's going to walk out of one of these labs with this information and puts it out on the internet before they commit suicide by shooting themselves in the back of the head 5 times.
You know, like the guy who exposed that the CIA was selling cocaine in inner cities in America. You know how he died? Suicide. How did he kill himself? Literally shot himself in the back of the head twice.
It happens.
It happens. Here's one more.
Remember, the day before 9/11, we have a videotape of Rumsfeld at the Pentagon. I'm not sure he knew it was being recorded because I'm shocked that he said it. And it's in Unacknowledged, the documentary. He says, and this is now 21, 22 years ago. He says, there's $2.3 trillion unaccounted for in the Department of Defense budgets. Trillion, not billion.
How do you have that much money unaccounted for?
Oh, you do. Let me give you an example.
I believe it.
They say, it costs $2 billion a plane to make the B-2 Stealth. It's about $150 million. The rest of it goes through the back door into these unsanctioned projects that neither the president nor the Congress knows. Never mind the American people. Multiply that across the whole system. So we'll get into this in a moment. There are other more creative ways of this organization, this secret, illegal organization.
So those stupid planes that cost $1 billion don't even really cost $1 billion?
They don't even really cost $1 billion. So anyway,
I hope something drastic. Is done by Trump that makes Democrats squeal like pigs.
So this is what's called I'm pretty sure we're close to a constitutional crisis. So now, if Trump tells his attorney general, go throw that judge in jail, is this not a constitutional crisis? I think it is.
Hey, get Obama's threat matrix, dust it off, get the TV's SEAL Team 6, Hollywood SEAL Team 6, your personal hit squad, and do an Obama. That's all I'm saying. Nothing breaking norms. Do Obama stuff.
And again, you don't have to like Donald Trump. You don't have to like Elon Musk to be outraged that people are stopping an audit of the federal spending. The president of the United States, the head of the executive branch, the head of the Treasury, he can't have an audit of the Treasury? Are you out of your frickin' minds?
Do you see how that screws you too, the citizen, when you would go along with that?
So now, no matter who, so it could be Bernie Sanders if we elected, and he wanted to audit, they'd be like, no.
Yeah,
do you see the problem?
Turn on him.
Do you not see the problem here? If they could do it to Trump, they'll do it to anybody. And Trump came in with a plan. Bernie Sanders would probably never do that. He's such a cuck.
He wouldn't dare.
He wouldn't dare. Neither would Elizabeth Warren.
None of these punks would do anything. It's unbelievable.
But
right now, I can't believe how much I even believe they even did a little bit of work. Like, I even thought they did something.
Yeah.
No, they don't. This is happening too fast, and it shows you it's just one big crime. You know, used to say it all the time. People think it's a little bit corrupt. They don't understand it's absolutely corrupt all the way down. They don't understand that. Well, a lot of people do, but the last of the moron Democrats who wanted Kamala to win that aren't actually actively part of it, that's the last of the people that are falling for this. It's not very many, really. The rest are employees.
How you can be against an audit of the Treasury, an audit of the Pentagon, an audit, or just a complete dismantling of USAID, and
you have to know nothing.
It's because you either have to know nothing, you have to be willfully propagandized, just like the people who went along with Kamala Harris being installed as the nominee without a primary,
and then got mad at George Clooney like it's his fault.
And then got mad at George Clooney. The same people who said Joe Biden was sharp and focused up until they were told they didn't have to say that anymore.
But they had to because Trump.
Yeah, that's right.
Because Trump.
So I understand people have a hate boner for Elon Musk, but as Mike Benz proved, I show on Friday on our show, the reason why they took away his advertising on Twitter was because he was going to give us a little bit more free speech, and free speech is now the enemy of the deep state and the blob.
That's why they hate him.
And that's it.
They don't hate him for anything but that. They don't care.
They don't
care about the revenue of Twitter. Let's just
they would have
get
done
that idea out of our heads. That the revenue. They're worried that you got to talk.
And the same thing they would have done the same thing to Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook, except he folded in. They would have taken away his advertising. They would have demonized him the exact same way they did to Elon Musk. Anybody who runs a social media outlet, they would have done the exact same thing. And now you're being told to hate Elon Musk, so you do. But you like Bill Gates. You hate one billionaire. You like another billionaire. Mm-hmm. You like George Soros, you like Bill Gates, you like Jeff Bezos, but you hate Elon Musk. But you like Mark Zuckerberg. It's just that you're just doing what you're told. You're doing what you're told.
Yeah. No, that's the gang. Authority, consensus.
Yeah.
Right? Consensus Democrats, the lowest form of life on this earth. They just go with consensus. I mean, you're a cow. You have to be a cow to be like that.
So everybody was okay with federal employees being fired for not taking an experimental vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
But they're up in arms over them being fired because of waste and fraud and abuse. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. No, I don't like it. I need more transparency. What? We want transparency. Nobody has really been able to make the case why it's a good idea that this judge stands in the way of what the president of the United States wants.
Well, they don't really care if they've made a good case or not. They're going to blast it across all the media that they own, right? This cabal. And they're going to pretend like it's really taking off, even though it's not, because they make all their money scamming that they're getting something going, much like Kamala's campaign, which was a pump and dump scheme. They all knew she's not going to win. They all knew Biden was senile. They cashed in as much as they could. That's why it cost $1 billion. Like a B-2 jet. You know, it should have only been $150 million, but it cost $1 billion because they're all stealing.
My fingers are crossed that she's going to run for governor in California.
Oh, my God. Yeah, burn the rest down.
Right? Exactly. She's horrific.
Hey, if you're watching this show, chances are you already know the mainstream media is full of crap. They're not here to inform you. They're here to spin stories, cater to corporate overlords, and protect the establishment at all costs. So just take a look at how they covered or didn't cover leaked photos linking Joe Biden to Hunter Biden's Chinese business partners. I ran this story through Ground News, who found nearly 100 sources reporting on it, and coverage is totally lopsided. Independent right-wing outlets are all over this, calling it what it is, proof Biden's been lying. Meanwhile, everyone else is just regurgitating CNN talking points, downplaying it like it's no big deal. Ground News even lets me see how many other publications have reposted the story from CNN. Let me ask you this. If the media is bending over backwards to protect Biden's image, even on his way out, how can we trust them to cover anything fairly? Well, the answer is you can't. The only way for us to cut through this media bias is to objectively compare how the same story is being reported across other media outlets. That's why I can't recommend my partners at Ground News enough. They're the only platform not telling you what to think. They show you every angle of every news story, whether it's from corporate media, independent outlets, or voices the establishment doesn't want you to hear. They expose who's funding each perspective and if they've got a political bias. They've even have a blind spot feed to expose what the other side of the political spectrum isn't reporting on, freeing readers of any hidden agendas and political spins. And if you want to cut through the BS of mainstream media, you can save 40% today off their top-tier Advantage plan by going to ground.news/JD or scanning my QR code. If you like the show, I think you'll love that platform. Come see us on tour in Dallas, Austin, Baltimore, Hartford, Connecticut, Syracuse, New York, Atlantic City, Levittown, Cohost, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for the link for the cheapest tickets.